Nabisco, National Biscuit Company. For over 50 years, makers of America's finest ready-to-eat cereal, Nabisco shredded wheat, and dozens of your favorite cookies, such as vanilla wafers, presents Burr Tillstrom, creator of Kukla, Ollie, and all the Kuklapolitan players, with Fran Allison in Kukla, Fran and Ollie.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the television audience. This is Richard H. Crackie, Colonel Crackie, to you. Very happy to be here in front of the proscenium to introduce to the television audience the first of a very valuable series of programs which I think you're going to find not only enjoyable, but also very educational and very enlightening. In the spirit of public service, the Ladies Auxiliary of the Kuklapolitan Strolling Choir, Orchestra, and dramatic players are going to present a new program tonight, which I think is really going to mean something great in the milestones of Kuklapolitan television history. It's called Be Candid with Your Candidate. A little informal type program which will help you and you and you and you and you too to know your candidate and understand just what's happening in this great exciting race here before election time. And who else would be the lovely moderator for this program but that chairman of the Ladies Auxiliary Group, our lovely lady, the lady who is so well informed and whose grace and charm and good taste has been such a great and integral part of the Ladies Auxiliary Group as well as the regular... Oh, I'm getting to it. Miss Fran and Ellison. Miss Allison.
Thank you. Thank you, Colonel.
You're welcome.
The Colonel is in error on a couple of points. I'm not really the chairman. I drew the short straw. And I really am not well informed because I don't know a thing about it. However, it's my position this evening to act as moderator, and so I shall try to do to the best of my ability. This program is designed with an idea of helping you to know your candidate. And so we have carefully screened our audience and selected a gentleman who is just an ordinary citizen, and he will present his questions to our candidate. Our candidate, of course, I'm sure you must know him, Oliver J. Dragon, our candidate at large, and I will ask him to take his place on the platform at this time. Mr. Dragon.
Thank you.
I neglected to say, but I shall at this point, that this little discussion, and such it will be a most friendly one, and there will be no personal, there will be no personal questions directed to our candidate, simply the things that we would all like to know about his views toward the coming campaign.
Well, Miss Allison, may I just say, since I am here, that I am more than delighted to be with you on this program, this first of this really wonderful series of programs, and to be with you here to answer the questions of the people of this country who want to know, who are sending a representative tonight, or I believe that you have selected a representative, a fellow who is just as common a guy as you or me or the next guy, and who's going to ask me questions which...
The candidate will kindly bear in mind that our time is limited.
Oh,
and if he wishes to entertain any questions, he had better cut it a little short.
Okay.
At this time, may I ask our ordinary citizen, our plain, ordinary, just as common as you and me guy, Mr. Alook.
Thank you very much.
All right. And now we, I believe, are ready.
Which way's the camera?
We're ready to...
Boy, it's certainly hot in this television, isn't it? Lots of lights. Boy, they certainly make you bright. I've seen you on the television, Miss Allison.
Well, thank you.
You're to ask questions.
Oh.
Now, just one moment. Remember, gentlemen, this is to be a most friendly discussion. And so we now go into
Yes,
our...
but I stand on my rights to ask exactly what I please.
You will
Well,
kindly sit. That's right.
You found it, too.
We will now begin our first round of questions. Mr. Alook.
Well, I feel it's very important for us to know just what you guys are thinking of, you politicians.
I'm not a politician. I'm a candidate.
Well, anyway, whatever you are, I think it's right, and that's what I'm up here for, to find out the truth. Now, me and a little woman, Mrs. Alook, that is,
I neglected to say that we will also entertain questions from time to time from our audience.
now, you are a citizen of the United States.
Why, of course, or I could not possibly be running for this office. I'm president.
Well, where were you born at?
I beg your pardon.
Where were you born at?
I was born at... Oh, dreadful English. Well, I was born in Dragon Retreat.
Is that in the United States? It is in the United States.
Than which
Just a
there's
moment,
nothing
just a
more in
moment,
the United
just a
States,
moment.
sir.
The
It's in Vermont.
I have a
And
gentleman. Yes?
I don't see anybody over
The
there.
gentleman wants to know what time the last train is for Highland Park.
Don't ask me.
Well, you're supposed to know that. You're a candidate.
I don't know anything about the train to Highland
We'll
Park.
try and see that you get there, sir.
Oh, that's Elma. Hi, hello, how are you?
Let us confine our questions.
Stop waving to the camera.
Mr. Alook had you another question.
Yeah, how old are you?
No comment.
Mr. Alook, I want you to remember that all questions are to be of a general nature, no personal questions.
Oh, what about Wall Street? What do you think should be done?
Well, I think it should be widened. It's a little narrow.
Thank you.
Next question.
Let me
Yes,
see.
sir? Just a moment. Yes, sir?
I thought I was the one who picked to ask the question.
From time
Oh,
to time,
hold
remember
on
you
now,
said...
wait.
The gentleman...
Don't tell me, wait, I'm as good as you are or the next
Just
time.
a moment. Remember, this is to be a very friendly discussion. The gentleman wishes to know if you know the blonde girl at the information booth as he came in.
Yes, I do. Her name... Tell him I will answer him in
I didn't
private.
know that you knew her.
Well, it doesn't matter. She's an acquaintance.
Are you married?
I refuse to answer that question. No, I'm not married. Can't you get on something that we can all agree on some way?
Well, there must be something.
Do you have any good recipes for icebox cake?
Yes, I do. Well, right here. Have you ever seen the wonderful recipe for icebox cake that you can make out of Nabisco vanilla wafers?
Say, I gotta tell the little woman about this.
Well, not only that, but you can make a really fabulous banana pudding with Nabisco vanilla wafers, too. The recipe is right on the package.
Oh, is it?
And yes, indeed. And, you ought to tell your little woman about vanilla wafers. Now, you can serve them with ice cream, with fruit, or pudding, for dessert, you know. Or if you have any youngsters at home, Nabisco vanilla wafers are just great for teenage parties, you know, when you're serving soda pop and so forth. Or for a snack with milk, fruit juice, that's...
I'm a little woman knows all about vanilla wafers. We've had vanilla wafers in our house for years and years. Nabisco is a standby in our house, and you don't have to tell me anything about it.
Well, I wasn't telling you anything about it. Exactly. I mean, it's just a point we can agree on.
Yes, we can agree on it. You don't have to tell me about Nabisco vanilla wafers, because the little woman and I know about it just like you and the next guy. That's it, see? Just like you.
Well, please, you don't have to get unpleasant.
I'm not at all. Any common guy, as you or me, knows that vanilla wafers are one of Nabisco's most popular cookies.
Well, I didn't say anything to the contrary.
Don't snap at me.
I'm not snapping at you, but I don't...
Gentlemen. We'll watch for the Nabisco seal on the outside. The better flavor inside. Gentlemen.
Throw your glasses back.
We want to keep this friendly but spirited. Gentlemen. The bell, gentlemen. Gentlemen. Let's go to our corners now. This is pretty embarrassing, you know.
Well, the questions he asks me. Honestly.
Well, that should be a challenge. to you.
I challenge you.
Okay, give us the bell again.
No! Look, now wait, just please. I thought we were going to be very friendly about this, very fair. We were going to respect each other's opinions.
I respect my opinion.
I respect my opinion, too.
Well, I have a high regard for mine, too.
I see no reason why he has to ask me questions like...
You said! This whole program was to...
Well, what was it for?
What are you looking at?
Your mustache is loose.
Is it?
Always comes loose in excitement.
Does it?
Yes, it always does. I wanted to ask you a couple of other questions about the Treasury Department, and I came across a few reports when you were acting as treasurer of the Kukla Treasury, and there were some gumdrops and some green leaf.
Couldn't we change the subject? Isn't there some subject that we could all discuss freely and beautifully together? If we could just find one thing.
I don't know whether you could discuss it or not, but Jack and I have a song that we've been trying to do for 6 days.
Oh? What's it about?
It's about spring.
Oh! Spring! Well, spring, that's a
And it's
very fine
from the
subject.
road to utopia where everybody agrees.
Everybody agrees on what?
Anybody's spring. You think that money is everything, and yet it's anybody's spring. Go make a fortune, become a king, and still it's anybody's spring. And if you flash a bankroll, do you suppose a brook would care? Or that a rose would say, there goes a millionaire? It's more than diamonds around a ring, because it's anybody's spring. You may be born with a silver spoon, and yet it's anybody's moon. You couldn't buy a ticket to hear the first robin sing. It's free because it's anybody's spring.
Mr. Candidate, could I ask you a couple more questions?
Sure.
Who's the prettiest girl on television?
Fran Ellison.
Oh, aren't you the one? Well, now that we're all agreed...
Well, what does the Nabisco seal mean?
Remember...
The Nabisco seal on the outside means bear flavor inside.
Nabisco!
Well, looks like Kukla and Mercedes are starting the day in a droopy way. But here's something to wake 'em up. Big toasty Nabisco shredded wheat biscuits with sugar and milk. Nabisco shredded wheat is pure whole wheat with the bran and wheat germ left in. Gives you important vitamins and minerals. Sparks energy to help you steam along till noon. For a better breakfast every day, get Nabisco shredded wheat, the original shredded wheat in the one and only Niagara Falls package. The musical director of Kukla, Fran and Ollie is Jack Fascinato. The producer is Beulah Zachary. The director is Louis Gomovitz. The costume designer is Joseph Lockwood. And the technical director is John Nathalie.
And this is Bert Tillstrom. Good night, Mr. Candidate.
Kukla, Fran and Ollie has been brought to you from Chicago by Nabisco, National Biscuit Company. For 50 years, makers of America's finest ready-to-eat cereal, Nabisco shredded wheat, and dozens of your favorite cookies, such as vanilla wafers.